Hi there, it's Clive here again, and today we're looking at Google Stadia as we come ever closer to the launch of Google Stadia this month. So the date has been confirmed. A few weeks ago, Google confirmed that Google Stadia will be ready to play November the 19th, 5 p.m. GMT time. So that is when Google is launching. The Google app is already available. If you check out on the phone, I don't know if you can see. I've downloaded it already. I'll try and get an angle you can see. Google Stadia app there. Go to the Google Play Store. It is there, and you can click on it, and it's like get started. So they're anticipating. Hold that an angle. You don't. Yeah. I'm not going to do it now because you'll be asked basically to sign in with your Gmail of choice, and that becomes your account. So you need to think very carefully about which Gmail. If you're one of these people with multiple Gmails, think very carefully about which Gmail account you're going to be linking to your Google Stadia. If you've got a Founders Edition, you should already have your sort of gamer tag. That's fine. So hopefully that's already done. But just bear that in mind when you get the app. I know some people have multiple Google Gmail accounts. So make sure it's the one that you really want, because you'll be stuck with it basically. And that's what if you've got a subscription, that's the one it's going to be based on. Anyway, as I say, Google Stadia app in the Play Store has only increased my excitement. So what I thought I'd do is basically a summary, a sort of a countdown to the Google Stadia launch, right up to when I hopefully get my Founders Edition, hopefully on the 19th of November, but I'll come back to that in a minute, and do an unboxing. And the plan is to do a review as well and a demo to you guys as soon as I can, as I've done with Project xCloud and other things like that. So make sure you've subscribed if you haven't already subscribed to this channel. If you have, thanks, much appreciated. Excuse the buzz on my phone there. And secondly, hit that notification button so you know when I'm uploading these videos and you're ready for when Google Stadia launches. Okay, so let's talk about that launch date. November the 19th, 5 p.m. Google Stadia is ready to play, which is great. But if you've ordered the Founders Edition or in the Premier Edition, then you might not actually get it on the 19th of November. So Google have confirmed that not everybody's going to be getting their orders on the day, 19th of November. And what they're going to be doing is posting out the Google Stadia orders in the order that they were sort of purchase. So I ordered mine on June the 14th. So I am hoping that I'm one of the first people in the queue. Although when I check the order status at Google, it does say delivered by November the 27th. So I am hoping that that is just Google putting in a bit of flex because they're unsure, and that I'll actually get it around about that 19th or a few days later maybe. I don't really want to wait an extra 8 days. But checking out on Reddit, I did notice that a lot of other people sort of ordered it on announcement as soon as it was available, and they're saying that their Google orders are saying will be delivered by the 21st or the 23rd or 24th. So I'm not alone in that, but I am hoping that, fingers crossed that it comes first. I can get my hands on Google Stadia, do a good review for you, and let you guys see what it's all about. Anyway, over the last week or so, there's been loads about Google Stadia, and I've been consuming all that information, doing some research, looking at a lot of the small print that I've noticed here and there about Google Stadia. And it's become very clear to me that there are some things that may appear to have been promised, or that was in fact promised by Google, that won't be available from day one. Now, one of those things is the controller being sort of wire free, as it were. So the idea is that the controller connects by Wi-Fi, so you don't need a lead. But that's only going to be with the Chromecast Ultra initially when you're set up on your TV. If you're going to use it on your computer or your mobile phone, you are going to have to connect by a wire, by USB sort of, to the controller. And certainly in all the demos that I've seen on YouTube videos and even some of the pictures from Google, there is a hardwire connection when people are playing it on their mobile or on the PC. If you read the small print in the specs on the Google Stadia page, it does say the controller has Bluetooth, but has not yet been enabled yet. hence a wired connection for PC or mobile. Although it is meant to connect to, the controller is meant to connect via Wi-Fi direct to the servers. So it reduces the journey lag of going by Bluetooth to a controller, through the servers, up the network to the servers and then back again. The idea is that the Wi-Fi controller connects directly by Wi-Fi straight to the server where the game is playing to reduce that lag. So I'm not sure why Google aren't doing it so that that also applies if you play on mobile or PC. It may be because they're not in control of the communication between the controller and the device, whereas the Chromecast Ultra is their device, so they're sort of slightly more in control of that. I think that may be why, I don't know, but I think the Bluetooth will come, but I don't think Google want to put it out there and have Bluetooth be a little blip in the chain of where lag might be. And certainly on Project xCloud, when I tested that out, as I said, there is a slight lag on the analog sticks. And somebody on the Xbox Insider said, if you connect by wire instead of Bluetooth, that can reduce that lag slightly. So maybe Google have sort of found the same thing as they try to eradicate lag down the chain. Maybe that's one element they're not happy about and just thought, well, we're not going to, go with it connecting via Bluetooth to computers or mobile phones because it just adds an element of lag that they're not satisfied with. Anyway, we'll see. Another element rumoured not to be available on day one is Google Assistant. Don't know whether that necessarily is a big thing. My house is like Tony Stark's house in terms of assistants. I've got Google Minis and Google Home Hubs and Google Homes just all dotted around the house. Anyway, someone downloaded the APK file of the Google app. In it, they unpacked that and they saw some strings of code that suggested Google Assistant wouldn't be initially available. So there's a sort of a statement within the code saying that's not available yet, but it suggests that it will be available later down the line. So again, these are just a number of little elements that I think Google have got planned, but not to have, I don't think they're confident to deliver these elements on day one, but we will see anyway. There's been lots of chatter, lots of talk, lots of blogs, lots of YouTube videos about Google Stadia. And one thing I found is that there does seem to be a lot of negativity around Google Stadia. I mean, what's the problem? I love new tech, but I think you need to give these things, a chance. You need to give them time to bed in, be realistic of what Google Stadia is and what it isn't, what it's really promising and what it can actually deliver, and whether at the end of the day it's actually for you. There are complaints being made about Google Stadia, which makes me think, well, maybe the person complaining, the Google Stadia is not for you. But just because something's not for you doesn't make that thing rubbish, because it might be for somebody else. Another thing I noticed, that most of the haters tend to be the sort of the PC master race. Inside Gaming, I'm looking at you. And you know what? I'm not sure it is for you. If you're a hardcore gamer with a $3,000 gaming PC and 100 megabits per second data connection and, 15 ping, whatever, then, and you want to play competitively on PvP or whatever, then great. I don't think Google Stadia is for you. Certainly not for playing competitive PvP at the level that you're going to play on your £3,000 computer. And you will be at a disadvantage playing, a hardcore gamer with a top rig, a top PC rig and 100 megabits per second consistent data connection. Another people who, may not be for is people like collecting physical media, like to have a collection of games, like I have my library of books, very old fashioned. Or even own games digitally. You're not going to own you can't download the games onto your PC and fill up your PC hard drive with junk, games that you sort of might play and then go off. I mean, I used to have a massive collection of CDs and videos. How old am I? DVDs, etc. Got rid of them all. All my music is in the cloud. All the films I ever want to watch, I can access via various subscription services, or if I'm that desperate, download and buy them. Unless they're very rare, then I might, go out and get that kind of rare DVD. I'm not a collector in that regard. So if that's something that bothers you, that you don't have your game on, own my game, then that's fine. I don't think you're going to be shortchanged if Google, and again, this is another claim that Google might just up sticks and say, oh well, it never worked out, this Google Stadia, we're off, because they've had a history of doing that. To be honest, I know they've invested heavily in other things and walked away. I think this is a different level of investment. They're investing on so many different scales, the development studio, the technology, the servers. I think this is big. I think they're going to stick around at this, and it might need a few tweaks and iterations, but I think they're pretty confident that this is going to work. And I'm also confident that a company their size is not going to leave you shortchanged if for sudden, it did all get switched off. I think they would refund you or make the game available or give you a voucher or whatever. But that's an extreme. I don't think that's going to happen anyway. And again, if you moan about your internet connection's not good enough and therefore it would be a load of rubbish, then that's not Google Stadia's fault. They're trying to push the technology as far as it will go to bring 4K or even 1080p, gaming to you. But, you've got to have a sort of an average, at least say an average data connection or a slightly above average. And what they've tried to do is make it work for people who do have a sort of an average internet connection. And if you look at the specs they require, 20 or 30 megabits per second download, it's not that much really, and most people have that. And if you struggle with YouTube or you struggle with Netflix and stuff like that, then hey, again, maybe you're not ready for it. Maybe wherever you are, you might not have access to decent broadband or whatever, and that that's fine. But eventually you will, I'm sure, and eventually most people will have much more than 20 or 30 megabits per second. And with 5G coming down the line, well, it's available now, but as 5G becomes more and more commonplace and 5G starts becoming the broadband of choice in the home, etc., then hey, that's going to sort of just blast through those specs that you need. So it's not going to be a major issue. And again, if you suffer from terrible ping when you play games, then you're probably going to suffer with terrible ping with Google Stadia as well. So there you go. So anyway, enough of the haters. I'm very excited about Google Stadia, and I think that it has a lot to offer. And for me, it's all about convenience. Basically, my fear is that the hype and expectation are going to lead to disappointment for many. And some of that can be sort of placed at Google's doorstep in terms of their initial announcement months and months ago, and about all the hype around that. But at the end of the day, I don't think Google Stadia will be revolutionary in terms of technology, but I do feel it will be a jump forward and a further iteration on what's gone before. And cloud gaming is coming. Project xCloud has demonstrated that. If you've ever used a Shadow PC, when that works, it is awesome. But when you have the scale that only Google can bring, then I think it is going to take the technology another step forward. And the advantage of them having a massive server network, and Google engineers have got to be the top engineers in the world at the end of the day, are pushing the boundaries of what is possible in terms of delivering data. And if you work at the edge of technology, you're going to have some issues. So not everything's going to be perfect because you're pushing those boundaries. And I think Google Stadia has that delicate balance between over-promising and delivering a technology that can be played by a broad base of people, given average data networks and broadband and Wi-Fi issues, etc., etc. And based on the specs that they're saying, it does seem very bold, but I don't think they would be saying that unless they really were confident that it's going to deliver on that scale. There may be a few issues, as I said, things that aren't quite ready, the Bluetooth connection, Google Assistant, etc., etc. But I think those things will come down the line. I think on day one, I'm going to be opening that box. I'm going to be setting it up, fingers crossed. I'm going to be sticking the Chromecast Ultra in my TV, and I'm going to be calling up, Destiny 2, which I can play instantly, no download times. It will just play instantly. And since I play Destiny 2 on Xbox, and I've got my Bungie account, which you can share across different platforms, I'll be really interested to compare the two, to compare the Google Stadia, playing Destiny 2 on Google Stadia, playing Destiny 2 on my Xbox console, and playing Destiny 2 using console streaming from Xbox, and comparing the gameplay on all of them. And for me, that will be a really good benchmark to sort of see where the technology is and who seems to be, at the edge of this kind of technology. But I'm very excited by Google Stadia to say it's definitely something to watch. I've tried all these cloud gaming sort of systems, and when it works amazing. When it doesn't, it's a dog. But you've just got to be realistic about these things. And it's the same with all download technology. I was watching YouTube on my TV via the Chromecast, and for some reason it was a bit spotty a little while ago. But 9 times out of 10, it's absolutely perfectly fine. I'm getting full HD on the telly using my basic Chromecast. So, occasionally things aren't going to quite work out, but I am confident that Google Stadia will deliver. I'm looking forward to the 19th. Please let it be the 19th. And I think that it will offer flexibility, a doorway to gaming for a lot of people who maybe aren't major console gamers or don't have, top-end gaming PCs. Getting a gaming PC that's decent, of any quality, you've got to spend at least $1,000, if not more. Yeah, you can get cheaper gamer PCs, but realistically, to sort of play, high-quality games, you've got to spend at least $1,000, I'd say. You might think differently, but I've looked at it because I was thinking of buying a gaming PC. But, it's a big investment. But for Google Stadia, for me, is a way in to play games at a 4K, level, 60 frames per second. The other thing is streaming. I like to stream, and I stream on Mixer, on my Xbox, etc. So I'm also very interested in the streaming aspect, the ability to stream my games direct to YouTube. That's going to be very interesting. I want to see whether Streamlabs come out with a Google Stadia kind of application, so you can sort of stream it through Streamlabs and then get all the overlays and stuff. We'll see whether that's coming or whether Google are going to add that. There was an interview with one of the Google engineers who said that they are looking into that, the ability to add overlays and maybe a camera, etc. When you're streaming to YouTube using the Google Stadia controller and stuff. So I think there's lots of exciting things to look forward to, and I can't wait until it comes. It's going to be like Christmas for me. As you can tell, I'm a bit of a fanboy, but I'd like to know your thoughts. Please put down comments down below. Let me know what you think, whether you're excited for Google Stadia, whether you just think, nah, not for me, or you're just going to sit on the side there and wait and see what happens. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you liked it. Please hit that like button. Please hit the subscribe button. Comment down below. I'll try to get back to all the comments that people do put down there. Everybody who's subscribed today, thank you very much. Look out for further updates on Google Stadia very soon, and I'll see you around. Cheers.